Hello, welcome to the Carousel of Conversations. You're in for a real treat. Join us as we take a spin through the past, present, and future of all things Disney. Here, where there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a podcast away. Let the podcast begin.
Welcome. I'm just going to do it normal. Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Let me figure out what we're going to say. Do it live. Not sure if anyone's seen
just
it, but
stop the recording
funny.
right now and just start all over
stop
again.
It and we're going to
just
do it live again. Yeah, we're just going to do it live. Welcome to the welcome to our carousel of, some would say, conversations. I say it's more jokes than conversations. This is all a big joke to us. Unlike RJ. RJ thinks this is serious. But RJ, take this away. I don't know what else to say. I'm running out of ideas.
Well, hi, my name is RJ. That's Noah, who just keeps talking. And then we have joined with us tonight our guest, which is Carlos and Sonya. Sonya? How do you say it? I'm totally messing up already. Sonya. Wow.
She's from New England, so it's Sonya, not Sonya. It's a little...
All right. See, I already messed up in my introduction. That was terrible.
I messed up in my introduction. Normally, I just make things up on the fly and just keep talking, but I didn't know what to talk about. I've already done
ran
Muppets
out of ideas.
Twice.
You were all out. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Carlos is actually my team lead for the Wayfinders for Famvia, the travel agency I work for. So yeah, it's awesome to have him on today. And we're going to talk a little bit of DVC. And he said, I can't do it without my wife. She knows all the things. And so, Carlos, tell us a little bit about us, a little bit about you and your wife, and then tell us about your travel agency, where they can find you at if they want to book through you.
Yeah. Thank you first off for having us, RJ and Noah. I mean, it's great to be here. And you know, I forced her to come in along with me because I'm a Floridian, right? I went to Disney often as a kid, easily the standard twice a year. And when you live up north, you didn't necessarily, she would still come down, but it wasn't like, when my family would come to Disney, it felt like it was like family time. You know what I'm saying? It was the one time we got away and everyone became a family. And when I think Sonya had a little bit of a different experience, but now that we come together as a married couple and we have kids, and it's great to go to Disney. So we can't wait to talk more about that. And I'm also a travel agent. And like RJ mentioned, we're running a great travel agency at Famvia Travel that takes care of its guests and really puts family via travel, right? Famvia Travel. We come together and we create family moments when people get to spend time just enjoying each other. And I'm grateful to be able to do that. You can find us on Instagram at The Vacation Poppy. Because I believe that everybody has an inner poppy inside them where when you're on vacation, you say yes to everything, right? It's at home. It's like you're stressed. No. Hey, Dad, can I get a cookie? No. You're stressed because like you got to eat dinner. You got to do all this other stuff. But at vacation, it's relaxation time, man. You get to say yes to everything. So, if you want to,
unlock your inner poppy.
If you want to unlock your inner poppy, you can find me at thevacationpoppy.com. Otherwise, I have a better half here who I'll let her introduce herself. But this is why we go to Disney, and so we can be together with our family. So
yeah, I'm Sonya. I'm Carlos's wife, and yeah, I'm from New England. I've lived in Florida longer now than I lived in New England, but Carlos reintroduced me to Disney in a different way as college students and adults. And I used to call him a Disney dork because he was all into it. And then we had 2 daughters. So there was no looking back after that. So we go very often and we love it as adults and as parents.
And we're DVC members. We're part of Disney's Vacation Club, which I know we'll talk a little bit about today. But I mean, that's really the turn Sonya made was right around when we became Disney Vacation Club members. Because then it was like, when's our next day?
That's what keeps us coming back.
Yeah, when's our next trip, right? So it's always ability to come back. So it's a great way to do that.
Yeah, no, I get it. We were talking about that a little bit before the podcast, how like we were sort of like Disney fans, but not truly understanding Disney. And then just like we started to love Disney a little bit more as a couple. And then we had our kid and we just like became annual pass holders and are obsessed with it. And like having that kid, because you'd think like the first couple trips after she was born were like, we didn't take her because we're like, is this going to be less enjoyable to us now that we have a kid? And once she got to where she hit 4, we were kind of like, I think we're going to give this a shot and see how it goes. And we actually went with Noah's family, and my kid just ended up making it a million times better to go to Disney because it wasn't just me and my wife enjoying it. We've enjoyed it a bunch of times, but now we're getting to see it through my kid's eyes, through her eyes, and it just makes it so much better. Like
a whole nother level.
Yeah, and riding rides that I would never ride, but I'm riding just to see her enjoy it. Like I could care less about me.
It is so funny to watch her run around and see the characters and stuff. It's almost like me, like as a 19-year-old, I do the same thing. But it's nicer to see it in a child's body, you know?
People always say, why are you doing that? They're never going to remember. And it's like, it's not, I'm going to remember. Like I get to experience this through my 1-year-old or 2-year-old or 3, whatever it may be. And it's like, I will always remember it as a parent, and that's just as important. So
yeah, we've got a cool Disney kid too, so she's like not afraid to ride anything, which makes it like the best. Yeah, like there's only one ride she's timid about, and that's the Tower of Terror, but everything else she's kind of like, let's just go do it 10 times. And so
that's awesome.
We just have that cool Disney kid who's not only enjoys it, but then like rides everything, so we could do it all with her. And just at that height too, where it's like, yes, we can ride this. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, today we're going to be talking a little bit, as Carlos mentioned, about DVC, which is Disney's Vacation Club. So you guys have been tell us a little bit about your DVC membership. Like, how did you become DVC members in the first place?
We it was funny, we've been members since 2020. And the first night that we had out after having our first child, so you're 2018, I mean, like you're talking like month 1 into the process, finally get a night out, and we go to a Mexican restaurant. We sit at the bar, and there's an older couple there, and they're DVC owners, and they were telling us all about it, right? And we're like, we're kind of where you guys were saying, where you're digging into Disney because you're here with the kids, it's fun, and now you have someone here who's telling you all about it, and we're like, what? You can do this. You can have basically a timeshare, but a Disney World that lasts you for a while. So we started to dig into it. It came time before we did it, but 2020 was when we snatched on to the DVC, and it's been awesome since. I mean, we just finished trip number 15, where we go in different stays. We've stayed at every one of the resorts in Walt Disney World. It's been an awesome experience.
So have all of those been like DVC stays, or have some of those been like you just booked your own hotel room now that you've stayed at all the hotels?
No, those are just DVC. We've also had other trips that have been in addition to all those.
We have from work and some other things. Right. But
we've gotten Airbnbs if we have like a family like with us, like things like that. So we've had more trips than that, but we've done 16 actual using our points DVC stays.
Yeah.
15.
So I mean, in 6 years we've had 15. I mean, I'll take it, right? And
we've stayed at every resort, which is the coolest thing. And we've experienced the resorts in a whole nother level. It's just a whole nother experience than just going to the parks. So
I can only say I've stayed in like all the moderate resorts, 2 deluxe resorts, and like 2 value resorts. So I'm getting there. I'm getting closer.
I've almost stayed at all the deluxe resorts, so I need to collect a couple more.
Yeah, you've stayed at a couple moderates too, because you've stayed at like French Quarter and Riverside.
French Quarter is like a deluxe resort, in my opinion. It's so nice.
Well, the amenities they have there are awesome, right? And like that's kind of
the beignets. That's the biggest amenity.
All right. So curveball question that I didn't have in the show notes. Since you've stayed at all the resorts, what's your favorite?
Polynesian.
That's it.
Yes. My wife has stayed at the Poly, and I haven't stayed at the Poly yet. I just can't justify it quite yet.
It's the best.
The Poly was our favorite before DVC, though. Like it just has a vibe. But I also love Wilderness Lodge. Like that is.
Wilderness time is peak.
Yeah, and Animal Kingdom Lodge is also amazing. Like they're just all so good. But if someone were to be like, where you can go tomorrow, where would you go? It'd be the Poly.
Yeah. we go to the Poly because they usually stay at it, so we'll go and have breakfast with them or just go and hang out at the Poly. So I love it already, but I've not stayed there yet. For me, I want to go more, and the cost of it is just like, oh, I can't do it. Now I get it, because like you guys are going to be different in that you could stay at the Poly more because of your DVC, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
We would never have been able to pay for any of these if we didn't have DVC.
That's why.
Yeah. So do your vacations look different now because of DVC? Like, do you get to do more things because of the DVC?
Well, we live in Florida, right? So let's just be real and saying every once in a while we get a random weekend, or even friends around here. Everyone's an annual pass holder. So it's like, hey, you want to go away for the weekend? And we'll rent an Airbnb, let the kids run around the house. We'll go to the parks for a little bit. We still do some of that stuff. But when we stay for a DVC stay, we try to prioritize family time. We try to prioritize hanging out by the pool, enjoying the resort, right? Enjoying the amenities that the resort has, or the experiences, the watching a movie after dark and sitting out on the lawn and hanging out with your family. We try to lean into that more when we go to the DVCs, and we try to go to the park. We'll go to the park here and there, but let's spend time at the resort.
But it does really change the experience, because before, going to Disney would just be like park focused. We weren't enjoying the luxury of a Holiday Inn or even the Airbnbs, but it definitely changes how we plan our trips and what we do on our trips, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So for somebody who's never heard of DVC at all, how would you explain it to them? Like, you got explained to you with that older couple, they were talking it up, and you're like, oh, we need to know about this. How would you explain it to somebody who has no idea what DVC even is?
I would just say it's almost kind of a poor way of explaining it, but like it's a Disney timeshare. You got to be real about it. It is a timeshare. There is a portion of that, but the one thing I've never felt, and everybody that I've talked to, and I did a lot of research before I went in, you didn't have the same people. You get gripes about timeshares. People, hey, I can only go on this week, or I can only do, this time,
or this hotel or resort or whatever.
Right. And Disney does it so differently. So every year they give you an allotment of points, and they just basically say, go stay wherever you want to stay. Right. A studio, which is basically like your standard type of hotel room with a kitchenette, is going to be less expensive in points versus a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom Savannah View at Animal Kingdom Lodge, right? Yeah. Or the Polynesian bungalow is going to be 260 points a night versus a studio at Old Key West might be 12 or 15 points a night. It's all different, right? And it's relative also too. Sundays through Thursday, usually better point pricing versus Friday through Saturday. So it's still very much a timeshare. You can't go around that. But the way that they let you have the flexibility to use your points. Yeah. You can go anytime you want, pick a weekend. I mean, we can go right now if we wanted to pick a weekend for, this weekend upcoming. We could probably find something if we're lucky. Usually you got to plan it. DVC is definitely for planners. I would definitely say that. You plan out your trips for the year.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to just be able to, and even to go to the family and say, we're going to go somewhere fun. And you don't have that weight on top of you that says, I got to pay for $900. You're going to go stay at the Poly, spending $800-900 a night. That's a different weight on you on what that vacation's supposed to provide versus
some of our points.
Just our points, right? So
some points at it. It'll be fun.
That's right.
It's already like, it's kind of like you're prepaying for a vacation, but kind of the cool option that you have, which let's just jump right in and talk about that a little bit, is that you can go a little bit outside of just Disney World, right? So like talk about that and what you could do with your points to make it more of a family vacation that's not just like Disney World, but there's more to it than that.
Sure. Yeah. I'm excited about that as our girls get older and maybe aren't as excited to go see Elsa or Minnie Mouse, and you can go anywhere like around the world.
I hope they never get that bored of it though.
Right.
I'm still excited to see Mickey Mouse,
Yeah, I mean, eventually I think they'll get, once they're teenagers, they might give us a hard time.
Don't get it wrong. Disney has a good place to help you raise your kids when you hang out there. Good will always conquer evil. Everyone's going to be kind to you. Everyone's going to work with you. So it's a great place to be with kids. But at some point in time, you've been doing it for so long, you want to go do something else. Well, that's the beauty of DVC. You can rent so many different timeshares all over the world where you can use reciprocity, where your points will work. but
and
also
experiences too.
Yeah.
Like tours and like specialized experiences. If you are going to like say Ireland, they'll have some like a cast member that works.
Well, that's Adventures by Disney.
Yeah, but
that's not DVC. That won't be DVC. We could use DVC points to get to get on those trips.
Right.
But they only give you like the DVC point weight versus
is a lot less.
It's a lot less than what the Adventures by.
So you can get like
they give like 10% off. Yeah, right. But to your point, Vero Beach. This is a vacation. We're in the process of trying to decide when we want to go to Vero. That's not Disney, but that's still in Florida. Hilton Head, right? Beautiful island to be able to go out and visit.
Yeah.
Disneyland,
Alani.
right? Alani, like all these different options. We've never been to Disneyland.
I can't wait for
Never,
Alani.
right? So it's just it's a great place. You could still go visit other areas, and even Alani, right? Like that's a Disney resort, but you're in Hawaii. Like
it's Hawaii. It doesn't matter if it's Disney World. It's still Hawaii.
Exactly right, Noah. So it's cool because it gives you that flexibility to use. But I got to be honest with you, we have not used our points outside of Disney yet because we find that much value in it. Like we get to enjoy it.
So we've talked a lot about points. What are points? So remember, we're coming at this from the I have no idea what you're talking about phase.
Yeah.
So like
I'm that person. I have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah. So I've rented points before, so I have a basic understanding. Like, and I know that's frowned upon probably by Disney itself.
No,
but, like,
yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, so like I've rented points from a DVC member to where I was able to use their points to go because they weren't going to use them in that calendar year. They wanted to do something else, and so they wanted to do that. But like, what are points? Like, do you keep those points if you don't use them? Like, how does the point system work just in general?
Yeah, it's you get an allotment of points every year, right? So whatever contract you sign, you get that allotment of points. You get as little as 75, and you can get as I've seen people with contracts of 1,000+ points. A little excessive, but there's you have to look at what your family's going to want, right? So what we ended up doing was we looked at how much studios were, how much one bedrooms were, and if you can lock in a couple of 2 or 3 weekend vacations a year, I thought that was pretty much it was a pretty done deal for me. I was like, this makes sense, this works. So we get an allotment of points every single year. Our points are, be honest, it's 260 points is what we have. And every March, because everyone gets them at different times of the year. It depends on what your use year is. What contract year do you have? Basically, they say year, but it's really months. So you can have either January all the way to December use year. We have March. So every March 1st, we get an allotment of points. They get dropped into our bucket. We can use them. Now, like I said, DVCs for planners, right? So Sonya and I will sit around and we'll say, what trips do we want to take? But then by Halloween time, right? Because our DVC is in March. By Halloween time, we have to decide, are we going to roll over those points and basically push them off to the next year? Or do we want to book a trip and use them, right? So you can borrow points from the next year. So you can stay at a bigger stay this year, or you can say, I'm going to save off those points the next year because I want to take a bigger trip next year.
Yeah. So if you're live out of state and you want to take your family on a 1 week trip to Disney, you can roll over your previous year and then pull from your future year and have basically 3 months of points. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what type of experience. Like we only live an hour and a half from Disney. So we go often. So we wanted something where it was 2 to 3 nights every 3 months, let's say. But a lot of people that have it, they go and it's just 1 week a year and they put all into it because they're coming from all over the world. So,
but you're staying at deluxe resorts the entire time.
Right.
That's the thing. Every DVC resort is a deluxe. For me, I like having my cup of coffee on the balcony in the morning, right? Families inside the room, sleeping, whatever. I like to sit outside and hang my own time.
And maybe see a giraffe.
Yeah, and maybe see a giraffe if you're sitting in the lodge. But all of them have balconies. All of them have, it's a deluxe resort for a reason. So you're really getting something out of your stay.
But I just want to say, we did not start with that many points.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. So how many points did you start out with?
I think was it
110.
Yeah.
110 is what we started with. And
we had the taste and we were like,
okay, let's do more.
We're gonna need to do
Disney
more.
Disney makes it really easy for you to get points, right? Where it's You email the guy.
I'm sure
like,
they do, actually.
I think I'll make 75 points. And he's like, oh, I'll give you, and then here you go. And then they just go ahead and give you the points.
So you're spending money on our DVC. Well, here's an option to spend more money if you would like.
You got to be careful with that. You have to be careful. What I will say, though, is that there's tons of websites. You look at different websites. If you just look up DVC rental, you'll probably find tons of websites of what RJ was talking about, where people who are renting out their points, or maybe they secured a reservation for contemporary resort, during Christmas time with a theme park view, right? Like they'll put it up for rent to see if somebody would want to grab that, that stay and then be able to guarantee themselves a nice view. So we've never rented out our points, but everything shows that DVC members who rent out their points, let's say you're not going to use it this year, you're going to make money by renting them out alone.
Mm-hmm.
So is that, do you think, enough money to like pay for your fees? Because I know these points, which we'll talk about that in just a minute, but like, yeah, okay. That's what I was curious about. So like you could technically do this as a business almost and make some money off of it if you wanted to.
So dude, like, and well, we can break it down right quick, but like it's about $1,600 is our annual dues for 260 points. Right. And if I have 260 points, and even if I rent them out for $13 a point, which is me helping somebody out.
Yeah, no, that's
$3,300.
Oh,
so
wow.
you're already.
Wow. Yeah.
So DVC is great in that sense, but you do have to put some cash down. You gotta be real.
Yeah.
Because it is a commitment, man. And you have to be able to put some money down.
Mm-hmm. So when you started, you said you started with 110. How does that look? Like, what do 110 points amount to when you're looking at rooms? I know you said studio rooms are different than 3-bedroom rooms. Like, how, I know it's like a whole math calculator thing when you're dealing with it.
For you here, it depends on when you go. It depends on what resort you stay at. That's a huge. And what type of room you want. It's just if, going to the Poly versus Old Key West is like a vast difference. And
also too, if you look at it, you can really see DVC is the first place where Disney shows you where their demand is, right? Because they'll have cheaper points for the months when it's slow. September, early January, early December, right? Like these are the areas when the points are at their lowest. So you can, you can strike gold if you, hey, let's hold off. Let's go on the months when it's slower and we get more bang for our buck with our points versus you try to go during spring break, you're paying a premium. Then it can kill you. So 110 points when we first did it in 2020, that was going to get us 2 to 3 weekends. So 2 nights, a weekend would be 2 nights. So about 6 nights a year in a studio or 1-bedroom type room. Right. And now it's, as points go up slowly but surely, we still have they still hold weight more or less the same, but you have to go. Now we have another kid from when we first bought. So now we stopped looking at studios and we started looking more at 1-bedrooms because then we can put the kids in the room and then have a living room area to go. And also DVC for those that don't know, these are, once you get into 1-bedroom, you're talking about full kitchens inside your room. You're talking about a washer and dryer, right? That's nice.
Some of them have 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, some of them will have 2 bathrooms.
I mean, we've been in a 2-bedroom in Animal Kingdom and has 3 bathrooms. Like it's like a house.
So I actually stayed at that one because, and it wasn't because I needed to. It was just because it was a good deal on the points. It was my honeymoon, so why not? And my wife is really obsessed with giraffes, and so I wanted to get a room that was specifically close to a giraffe feeder, and so I did a ton of research, and this was the type of room that would be more like close to giraffe feeders and stuff. So we intentionally did that.
That's smart.
And so, but it was just her and I, and we had like 3 bathrooms in our hotel room that time and a full-blown kitchen. We didn't need all of that, but it was awesome to have. So
our first DVC stay was Animal Kingdom Lodge, and because that was our first home resort. So we went to Animal Kingdom Lodge and stayed in a 1-bedroom, right, with our daughter for 2 nights. This was like August in 2020. So it was still like Disney was just starting to open up after COVID. And the hotel was like dead. It was such a great feel. Like that night we sat outside and we shared a bottle of wine and we looked down and we saw the giraffe were all sitting out there sleeping, right? They're all sitting next to each other in the pods. It's like, where else are you gonna get this, man?
I know.
Where else are you gonna get this?
It's cool because
maybe
they don't
in African savannah, but not in Florida.
Yeah, maybe,
but it's so it's definitely, you know, we ended up adding more on along the way, but man, I'll give a shout out to DVC. It's held its weight this entire time.
Yeah. So speaking of the points, you said they drop in March for you. So not for everybody, but for you guys and how you have your plan. Now, so you've just taken the one DVC and kind of upped your points, or did you do more than one, or how does that work?
Well, what it does is when you add on right? Because this all happens via email, so they make it way too easy. But they tell you like, here are the available resorts we have. So you also have to think too. This might be a little bit more math than I can do at 9 whatever at night, but every DVC, like I said, we have annual dues, right? But every DVC resort has their dues vary at a different rate. So you can get maybe cheap points at one resort, but they might have a higher due rate.
it's like Animal
right?
Kingdom.
So it's like
Their Animal Kingdom's dues are different because they have animals and they have to feed and take care of,
Yeah.
So it weighs itself, right? So you have to figure out. But what we ended up doing was when we added on, they just said, "Hey, well, what resorts do you want?" I asked, "What are some of the ones that were available?" The second one we picked was Old Key West because it's the first DVC resort that they've had, which means that the rooms are the biggest, right?
Oh,
which we were very, very
Huge.
So worth mentioning why a home resort and like why do you have to pick a resort? If you're a DVC member, you can book at that home resort up to 11 months before. But any other resort, it's going to take, you can't book until 7 months before.
Because they prioritize the people that are that's their home resort, so they get to have that first.
They get the first dibs at
but
some
you
of the,
still have access. Like it's not like it's
you can go
sold
stay
out.
wherever you want, right? It's just if you're a planner, you can plan. It's January, you could plan Christmas Eve the next year if you really want to at your home resort. So we figured what home resorts make sense for us to use, and we used Old Key West. We love it, and then we added on again on top of that when they did the new Poly
They're
Tower.
building the Poly Tower.
No,
we got an email.
Yeah, I would have done that too.
No question.
Well, and that one is like harder to get because it is the Poly. Like there's just
Listen, they are Disney is investing in DVC. They've got the new Lakeshore Lodge that's coming in right next to Wilderness Lodge. So on
the Fort Wilderness, is that what you're talking about?
It's
the
in
one they're
between
building.
It's in between Fort
Oh my God,
Wilderness and
yeah.
Wilderness Lodge, right in between the two of them.
Yeah.
It's going to have its own lazy river. It's going to have all these different things, but they are trying to prioritize things for they want DVC guests to be able to have.
Yeah.
Regular guests can book there, but since they're villas and since they're maybe one bedrooms with a full kitchen, they're pricier than you staying at Art of Animation. You know what I'm saying? I love Art of Animation, but it's a different resort and feel. So I love DVC because they keep bringing some new stuff out, and then you get to go check out new resorts.
They're investing more into the DVC as much as you're investing into Disney.
Well, who are the people that are going consistently, right? And it's
and they're going to the park and they're buying the merch and they're getting the popcorn and they're doing all the stuff. So
and
it's
using
like,
their discount too, which is the thing I'm interested in.
I know, but it's scraping this surface.
Good point though, Noah. Like that, dude. Every time I'm that guy that we offer DVC discount because of, for 20% off on merch. That's great. Kids want to get a souvenir. Mm-hmm. That at least helps
20% cheaper.
Vacation Poppy, yes, a little bit.
We do that even with annual passes too. Like
they do. It's like the same.
It is. It's more or less the same, right? As far as the discount is concerned,
you always ask. Like even if you don't know, you ask. Do you have an annual pass discount? Do you have a DVD discount?
Yeah.
If you're paying for it, might as well.
Do you have annual pass and DVC discount?
I'm
the special kind of person.
They don't.
They don't stack.
But it does feel good. We get like free parking.
We get.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to pay for
That's
parking.
from the annual pass, though.
Yeah, but it's.
You know what's actually the coolest thing about being a DVC member is that when we go into the parks, everybody else's little thing turns green when you put your magic band on, but ours turns purple, and it says "Welcome home."
That's
and
cool.
That's a nice touch about DVC. Every time you go to a resort, they're going to tell you.
Or any park you do your magic band. When you walk in, it's always "Welcome home."
Welcome home.
Cool.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I'd get it just for that, honestly.
So
every time Carlos is like, "See, This is why we do it.
I get it.
Everyone else. Like, yeah. DVC walking by. No, excuse you. Yeah, you're fine.
For it. Like, we're going into Magic Kingdom, and he, like, scans you, like, waits. And they're like, oh, welcome.
No one else
do you find that your resorts that you want to stay at are sometimes booked solid if they're not your home resort? Or do you find that at that 7 months, if you planned it out well, like you could go stay at any of the deluxe resorts?
Yeah, we just booked 4th of July weekend at a beach club, right? Okay. And we thought, we can't wait till 7 months out. We thought it was going to be a scram. We had to jump on it within 7 months, but I mean, you can find what you need.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like you said earlier, it's definitely for planners. Like if you're going, but I feel like if you're DVC, you're gonna be a planner. Like that's a commitment, unless you're local and you're just flying by the seat of your pants. But most people, they're committing a lot of time and money, and they're bringing family and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. We'll usually, the way we'll plan it is we'll talk about what do we want for this upcoming year. Do we want to stay longer visits at nicer resorts, so like Grand Floridian or Polynesian or the Riviera, or do we want to do maybe more shorter trips at some of the the Old Key Wests or the Saratoga Springs or those kinds of resorts where you can still maybe get some more bang for your points, but we will always keep points. We'll always keep points off to the side because we know that random trip can spurn up.
Yeah.
Living in Florida, it's like we can have friends like, hey, come out, let's go out in three weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've got, and we can find something pretty easily.
So you can at least find a resort, but it may not be 3 weeks out. You're going to get a poly reservation.
Yeah. You might get a cancellation. Yeah. Like you could be on the wait list for it, but.
Yeah. And they let you wait list. They let you wait list up to 7 days. So you can wait list for either 30 days out of the reservation or 7 days out of the reservation and see if maybe you might be able to get something.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: beggars can't be choosers, right? Yeah. It's so much easier to use your points and stay at Saratoga Springs and not taking a shot at Saratoga Springs. It's just it's a cheaper point value than going and spending and dropping if you want to stay on property $200-300 a night. Mm-hmm. Big difference, so it's like, it's cool. It's great to be able to use that benefit. Beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever's available.
So what's your home resort and how did you guys decide that? Did you just because every time I look on the DVC website, to be honest, it's always the only option available is like Riviera or something like that. But there's never like a Poly, or unless they're building that new building, there's never those options, I feel like. So did you just get whatever you could get, or did you kind of like just go in and like you knew what you wanted and you found it and you waited for it?
We started resale. So you could buy these there's a whole entire resale market, right? And when we booked in 2020, the rules were X. Now the rules have changed somewhat too. So anybody who buys resale has a different subject. They're subject to different rules than we are. But we started off 110 points resale. What I did was I signed up for a ton of different DVC newsletters. That are rental newsletters or people who are selling off their points. These are companies that sell off DVC contracts. And they send a newsletter every day. So I just sat there and I started looking at points, tracking out points. You got to do it a little before you're ready to buy, right? So you can see what's the fluctuation. Basically what you're looking for is how much per point, right? Because that's the biggest thing, is how much money are you spending per point. And that's when that resale value goes up. So I found a Poly. I ended up seeing this Poly. Animal Kingdom. Excuse me, Animal Kingdom Lodge. I saw this. I saw the points come up 110 points, and I was like, for the price, it was great. So I started reaching out and talking to them, and they're like, yeah, they're available. Nobody is taking advantage of the contract. I called my dad, and I was like, what do you think, man? Like, am I being crazy with this? Like, is this a scam? Do you think that this would be a scam? And man, bless my dad's heart, dude. I lost him last year or 2 years ago at this point, and it kills me. But he told me, I'll split it with you, right? Whatever it was. And at that point in time, it was much cheaper. It wasn't what it is now if you're trying to buy in, right? But he was just kind of like, he saw me ready to take the jump, and he's like, I'm gonna meet you halfway, because what he said was, this is a place for you to go spend time with your family. This is a place for you to go be a dad and go be with your family and go do fun things. Go do that. Yeah. Always go on these trips together. And that was the beauty of all of it. So that for me was gas, right? It was like, oh, this is meant to be. Why not? So here's what happens when you go resale. You have to put in an offer. It gets accepted, right? Just similar like you purchasing a property. And then you have to wait because Disney has what they call a right of first refusal, where basically when they submit that paperwork off to Disney, Disney can have the opportunity to say, that's too cheap. We'll take it at that price. And they step in and they take the contract. You can't do anything about it. And they will buy the contract at resale at that price.
Yeah, crazy,
that's crazy.
No, so we're like, waiting.
It's not like you can sit there and sell a cheap, maybe you have a family member, you want to sell them a cheap rate. Like Disney would jump on it. You won't even have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So when it passed right of first refusal, we're like, this is real. This is actually going to be real. So it was cool. But it's a process. But I would definitely say like, at that point in time that we were buying, it's a financial commitment. It's still a financial commitment, but now it's even more of a financial commitment. You really need to think about it before you do it. Yeah. So it's not something you want to just do off a whim.
But just to backtrack, before we did this, we went on the DVC tour. So we went and met with an agent and did the entire DVC tour, and we talked through everything, and we learned about resale and like different options, and of course he didn't want us to do it, but we talked about what points make sense. Like you really need that education to know, and also like you walk through some beautiful what are they called? Models of rooms. Like we walked through the model of Riviera before it was even done, and so you get to see what it looks like. So I definitely recommend the educational part before you go in. And that's how we learn. And then Carlos did the research on resale stuff. So we started with resale. And then after that, there was a couple of things that we weren't able to do because we were resale. We couldn't go to...
Like we could only use our points at our home resorts or any of the original resorts that they had at that point in time when we bought. Oh. Right? So like Riviera, anything Riviera on, we were not able to use those points to stay at.
Yeah.
Right?
And like the clubs.
They have now they have the member clubs where if you're resale, you don't get to go into the member clubs.
Yeah, you get a different color card if you're resale.
You get a white card.
We had to navigate those treacherous waters for a little bit, and Carlos is like, no more. We're going through Disney. So then the next two, we went through Disney directly.
But one good point, and thank you so much for bringing out that you get to talk to an agent at Disney. I think that's the first step for everybody. And you might think I'm crazy, but it is not like... It's not what you think when they say, hey, we're going to have this meeting with a timeshare rep and it's only going to be 20 minutes and they keep you there for 6 hours, right? It's not that at all. There's no pressure. This is sales by Disney, which basically means...
think about the Disney experience and like working with characters at Disney and cast members and it's just like that.
They know you're going to spend the money.
They're not pressuring. You actually walk out of there with something, a gift card or something. And
they gave us 3 free fast passes.
Yeah. They know nice. They're not too pushy. It's not overwhelming and you're not committed. It's not like you have to sit down and have a lunch with them somewhere and they can talk. So it's totally up to you on how you want it to look, but it's definitely worth that to get educated.
I know my uncle who's interested in DVC did the tour of the Poly Tower. And he was talking about how nice the rooms are there. And he was just telling me, I'm like, man, those are nice. I'll stay with you in one of those. Like, I'll go on a trip. I won't say no.
I feel like after the Riviera, it just went up a notch. Like the Riviera was like, when we went through that, it was like amazing. We stayed there. And ever since the Riviera, they just took it up a notch. And then they did the refurb for the Grand Floridian. And like, now it just gets better and better.
If you go look at the one, because that was the other thing, Poly never had 1 bedrooms. The Polynesian never had 1 or 2 bedroom rooms.
Studios or the bungalow.
Right? So you never really had that medium. So they built a tower where it gives you more of the other stuff. Go look up the 1 bedroom bathroom. Okay, no, I'm serious, dude. It's legit.
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
like, just like like a big, beautiful Moana shell of like a mosaic, a Moana shell. It's like, dude, it's wild. They really put the luxury up to the max. So you feel better about going on these trips.
And it's also, I like how they have separate towers too, in a way. This is
you're good.
But they do this at, Wilderness Lodge and Contemporary
has Bay Lake Tower
and Poly. It's like it's a different vibe. It's not as touristy. It's not as overwhelming. It's more like the regulars.
You're with family.
Yeah, right.
Like you're with family who knows Disney and who is invested in Disney.
Yes, and there's not all of the gift shops and there's not the big check-in lobby.
It's not so loud.
Right. It's a different vibe. And like
the character stuff too. Like Disney is not splattered everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the
it's
resort,
much more
right?
subtle.
It's
because you're there. You don't have to be reminded of where you're at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you want all of it, you just go to the main lobby. You know, even Animal Kingdom. We have a separate area. I mean, you can stay at both, but you know, it's a different vibe that I like.
So do you feel like you missed so you do feel like you missed out a little bit by not buying originally from Disney, or do you feel like if somebody who's coming into it like me, who doesn't have DVC but has looked at it a ton, would miss out on a ton?
It's
just
still
going
great either way.
Disney get mad at me telling you this, but forget their perks, dude. All right, sorry. If you want to go in, you want to try it. The best bang for your buck that you're going to be able to do that is in resale.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you really
test the waters,
if your family wants to do it, then you can always buy with Disney Direct.
Yeah.
Okay? You can add on as little as 5 points. Right? They make it that easy for you to be able to add on things.
So if you add on points, do you become like the better card member?
That's what we did. So we added on two 75-point contracts at separate times, and then we ended up now we're official. DVC
Gotcha.
members.
So now you can go into like the clubs and
we can do anything.
So now we can go to member lounges and stuff like that, be able to go get a rest and free snacks and sodas and stuff.
So when you bought resale, but then you upped your points, which allowed you to be actual DVC members.
So we bought directly through Disney. So when the first Old Key West, we did resale. I'm sorry, Animal Kingdom, we did resale. And we did Old Key West directly through Disney and the Poly directly through Disney.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I think the Poly, because the Poly was literally not even built yet. And they reached out, we were in the email chain. So they reached out, hey, we got a deal. So naturally, we jumped.
I did a little bit of research. Well, I've done a lot of research on DVC over the years. I keep wanting to pull the trigger, but not yet. But I feel like it would be a good investment for me. I go like 2-3 times a year right now.
100%.
And it's like, it would save me so much money, and I get to stay at a deluxe resort. Like the amount of money I'm pouring into just regular hotels, I feel like I'm wasting that by not doing DVC. It's the contract thing. And I know you can sell it resale and they have a higher market than a timeshare, but that anxiousness of like, you're going into a contract for a very long time to be able to do this. And that just,
like you just said, you can get out of it. There's there's millions of people out there that would be willing to take that from you.
Or Disney will buy it from me, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, and so when you sign, worth mentioning, when you sign a DVC contract, unless it's resale, because resale is a little different, its standard is 50 years.
Right.
Okay? 50-year contract. So people might see that and think, what the heck? That's freaky. Right. Yeah. But like,
it can be generous. Sorry.
No, but I'm just saying you can also will this over to your kids.
Yeah, it could be generational.
Right? Generational. You know what I'm saying?
So many people we've talked to
are going to be going to DVC, our DVC.
Yeah, so many people have talked to about that, and they say it's like, this is a generational thing. This is a gift to our grandchildren that, and that's pretty cool. But the thing is, the resorts, and like once you've experienced that and really enjoyed all the amenities and the pool and just the customer service, and once you've experienced that is just as exciting as taking your kid to Magic Kingdom. Yeah. It is just, I look more forward to the resort time that we spend and the things we do there than the parks.
And this is not even DVC. This is just Disney resort related. If you're one of those people who's missing that Disney customer service and you're going to the parks and you're like, it's like, still not, I don't get that magical touch. They still do all the great stuff and they still take care of us, but miss the resorts haven't lost it.
Yeah.
They know that you're staying there. That's where they have spot on customer service.
And we've had the privilege of hosting friends and family on trips where we get a 2-bedroom and get to bring them there that we would never have been able to afford otherwise.
Especially if you're the Polynesian, like you bring that many people, you might as well get a bungalow, and that's ridiculous amount of money.
Yes, you know? It's so expensive. So we have had the privilege of bringing so many people and having them experience it, and it's like the gift that keeps on giving. We never would have been like, let's pay all this money and get 2 bedrooms, you know. So it's been nice to share it with a lot of people too.
All right. So side note, I agree with you when it comes to vacationing. Like the reason that we keep going back to Disney over and over and over again is like when we go to the beach, we'll sit there and we'll read our books and we'll play on our computer, or we'll do our, you know, typical things. We may go to the beach for a few days and then go sit back at the room. We'll end up spending more money on a beach hotel and all the food and stuff that we get at the beach than what we do going to Disney. But at Disney, I don't have to look at my wife and say, what are we going to do today? It's like, we're going to a park today and we're going to ride all the rides and we're going to enjoy all the things that this park has to offer. The food is better than what I would get at the beach. Everything is just a million times better, and we don't have to think about it. So for us, like, people are like, oh man, it's so exhausting to go to Disney. And it's like, for us, it's the most relaxing thing in the world, because then the other thing too is like when we're at a beach house, we end up working on work or other things because we have access to it. But at Disney, I'm not taking a work call on Space Mountain. Like, I'm just not doing it, which causes us to spend more time together as a family, disconnected from everything except for Disney. And I know we have our phones out and we're like doing that, you know, checking for, you know, the next lightning lane or whatever, or looking at the map or stuff, but we're not like working like we typically would be at any other vacation.
Than managing work. But also, you don't even have to go to the park. If you go, there's so much to do too on property. Like there's a character meeting in the lobby every day. They can take you on a tour of the whole resort. There's an arts and crafts club at the pool. They have people entertainers at the pool that engage your kids. Like,
there's always something going on at the resort.
At the resort, you know, you're at the restaurant and they're treating your kids like princes and princesses. You know, it's there. It doesn't have to be park, and that's something that's just even better.
Well, and it's like, what a better place to get to your kids' level. Yeah, or even not just, maybe you don't have kids and maybe you just want to find that inner child again and just relax and just go have fun.
Yeah,
like, what a better place to be able to do that. Yeah, seriously.
It's so easy to escape from the world at Disney World.
It really is. It really is.
Well, and we've done those things too. We've done the movie night at French Quarter where we sat by the pool and sat at the pool and just watched it on the projector. We've done those where we brought our kid down to the lobby and they had an arts and crafts thing going on. Yeah. We've gone down the boardwalk at night where they had the entertainers on the boardwalk just doing all sorts of crazy, awesome shows. Yeah. Like, we've gone to where we've just stayed at hotels and not done any of the parks and stayed at hotels for 5 nights and just had the time of our lives because we couldn't afford tickets. But the Disney hotel and all that it offers is more than going to the beach or going to, you know, on even a cruise. For us, what we enjoy, I mean, it's just awesome. So, but looking at the
sorry to jump in there, RJ, but like, even, man, for me, what I love is the mornings. I love, like, my kids wake up early, man, and I'm an early bird. 6:30, you're walking through the lobby. Everybody, it's quiet. It's still good, but everybody's they're not. Oh, stressed. These people are up. Yeah. Welcome, good morning, princess. It's so nice and easy, and it's like, what a way to wake up.
Yeah.
You don't get that, man.
No. And Mickey waffles. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Even like
the morning doleps were wrong. Let's be honest now. Like,
go on vacation anywhere else other than Disney and go tell me you're going to go get on a bus and go see stuff. And I'll tell you, you're going to go on a bus. Like, that's, I mean,
exactly.
Or Disney, like, you know what I'm saying? Disney, they've got logistically everything set up. No one's gonna let you crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's great. They know where they're going. They know what it is. When you're outside of that bubble, it's hard to move around logistically.
Oh my God! But when you stay on property and you take a boat to the park,
oh
my God, it's such a different experience.
Like, you get dropped off at the
you just like walk in Like there is like no line. You just go. It is so different when you're entering the park from a resort than through.
Monorail is my favorite mode of transportation at Disney World. Even with the doors falling off and the engine catching on fire, it's still better than a bus.
Absolutely, I'm with you, Noah. And I love it. Now they have the monorails racing each other. The monorail
I was able to race Monorail Black on our last trip, and that was the highlight, honestly.
That would have been my pick too. Monorail Black.
So going back to DVC, I did some research on it. So current pricing runs roughly $200 to $300 per point buying direct from Disney. For resale, it's around $80 to $175 depending on the resort, the amount left on the contract, and the contract size. So like you're getting a 40 to 60% discount buying resale. What you lose out on is membership extras and discounts like dining, shopping, lounge access, which you could still get again through your annual pass, which you're probably going to have if you've got a DVC contract. The ability to book most the legacy DVC resorts and the identical room expense once checked in, the room doesn't know how you bought it. So like you're still going to get the same experience for everything else, but like it's just you're not going to be able to book some resorts and you don't get the full discounts. But honestly,
there's a way to test the waters though.
But
well, and then if you want another one, just get more points, you know?
Well, and two, I really truly think that like the discounted rates, I'm getting the same discounts through my annual pass from the research I've done, so I don't feel like I'm losing out on anything. But
so you're gonna do it? Is that what you're telling us right now?
It's really the like. I'm like a over panicker about stuff or like overthinker about stuff. Like what happens if I lose my job? Am I going to be able to pay annual dues and all that?
Well, I know I probably... It's such a competitive market. You could just sell it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I just keep, that's my thing. I keep going.
Traffic though, like don't worry about that. You'll figure it out.
You'll be at Disney World if you lose your job. You know, you can get room.
I lost my job 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and that was the scariest thing in my life.
Yeah.
I'm a Disney World more than you are, so I don't know.
So my job is always like on the line. It's the risk, which is why I get paid a little bit more as a contractor. But then there's that risk associated with they could come in and cut your contract. So that's what makes me nervous about it.
Life finds a way, my friend.
So, okay, let's talk now that you are a full-blown DVC member. What are some of the discounts and perks that you do get as a DVC member? Like talk about the annual pass discounts that you get or the ability to like if for me an out of state coming in, how I could get an annual pass different, than the one that's only available for me, like that sort of stuff. What do you feel like are the benefits?
Yeah, they only have Florida annual passes for that. They have different ranges of Florida annual passes, but when you're out of state, you only have one pass and one pass only that you can get, right? But as a DVC member, you start to have other ones that are available to you. I would definitely say some of the biggest things, you're going to get discounts on merch. You're going to get discounts on food. You're going to get, they have like member only nights where they have like a park opened for after hour events.
That's fun.
Where it's only a DVC member event and you don't have to pay for it. You just go in and register and get in the queue. The queue's hard to get through, I'm not going to lie. So it's a difficult thing to get through, but you have those perks and those availabilities for yourself to do that. As far as anything else, as far as like perks are concerned, there's tons of other ones that I'm sure I'm not really kind of forgetting, but those are the ones we use.
And then like clubs, that's it, really.
Well, so to your point, we can go to a member lounge. They have member lounges in every one of the parks now. Before they only had member lounges in Epcot and they only had member lounges in Bay Lake Tower. Now,
I'm at the resorts.
Yeah. So now they have all of the they have
all 4 parks.
They got member clubs where you can go in, get sodas, get drinks, waters and different things like that, chips, all for free. You can go in there and recharge your phone, whatever. And most of the DVC resorts also have like community centers almost, where you can go in and like our kids can go in and do arts and crafts in there, or they can make like what's it, like mache, not whatever, like clay. They can work with clay and they'll bake the clay and then they'll make it all shiny for them. So there's things for them to do. You know, going on a pool day, like what do we do with the kids? There's tons of stuff to do with the kids at a DVC resort. So that's kind of one of the, not really a benefit, but it's really one of the value adds that we get from it.
I want to do crafts at a member-only lounge. I mean, hey, you're not scaring me.
Okay, so Disney has the right to change any of your perks or anything like that, and they make that very clear in all the contracts and everything that they do. Have you ever felt like you've lost anything from your perks or anything that you feel like, why? And I just signed a 50-year contract and it made you like question whether or not that was the right decision, or...
I mean,
it didn't make us question, but we were kind of sad.
We were kind of sad. I still do it though.
We still try to do it.
No, I still do it. Pool hopping. They used to let you hop pools, man. They used to let you go. You weren't staying at, you know, Old
Let's say you're at the Contemporary and you want to go to the Poly or the Riviera or somewhere and enjoy their pool because you're at the Contemporary for a week and you want to go to a different resort. You could go into any pools.
How much I get, right? The pool is sick, right? You don't, you can't just open that up for everybody to come hang out at because then it's going to pack up, right? But I mean, these are also people who are partial owners of Disney property and stuff like that. They put a little bit more money into it. You can vet them in that sense. I mean, I would love to be able to hop around to pools and you know, we have multiple pool days on the trip. Hey, let's go somewhere else. Let's go check something else out.
But I have to say, even though that's unfortunate, now that when we're at the resort, we're not fighting for space at the pool because of things like that. So we don't have to run down and put a towel down on a chaise lounge, or, you know, we're not trying to snatch a table because everything's taken and the pool is not overflowing, you know. So I understand the purpose of it. They want it to be an experience that's not, oh, that was too much. And so they have to pull back a little bit. So I respect it. When I'm there, it's like, that's fine, because it's not crazy when you are there on your trip.
Yeah, you're not missing the benefit, but we miss it.
All right. So 2 last things and then we'll be done. So one is, do you have any DVC merch, or is we love merch here?
I'm the biggest merch guy.
Yeah, Noah and Jesselyn are the biggest merch people. So
can we go get it real quick?
Yeah. Any sort of merch.
We have our we have
our cut.
West.
Nice.
She's got the
so I got established.
Flip your side. See, so you can see
no,
there.
2020. Yeah, 2020. 2020.
2021 when we got old Key
Okay,
West.
Can we go grab a couple things real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no problem.
Give us 1 second.
Yeah, RJ will entertain them.
Now I want to buy a DVC.
No. Now I'm going to buy a DVC. I just need to get a whole bunch of credit cards. Max out all the credit cards.
I feel like though I would want to do resale at first, and then maybe
and then
try
add
it
on
out.
points, because I definitely want to be a part of those lounges. Okay, I need to be the highbrow society.
So some of those lounges are DVC, and then I've noticed that some of them convert into annual pass lounges too, from what I understand.
Really?
So like that's pretty sweet as well.
Okay.
So.
We have a sun hat.
I'll show you. This hat's my favorite because it's subtle.
Ooh.
I don't like a lot. Subtle. Look at this hat.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, perfect for the pool. But like,
that's
subtle. You would never be like, oh, that's a Disney person.
Oh, look at them.
This is one of my favorite sweaters here.
Oh, that's cool.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
I can't remember where I got this one.
Ooh, I think we got that at Riviera.
Maybe.
That shirt's really cool. I love
that's
it.
a cool hat. I really like that hat.
Shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is not DVC merch, but
no, but it's a cool shirt nonetheless. I love it.
Wayfinders team shirt. RJ, we gotta get some of these fan guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, RJ, I want one of them too, please.
Well, become a travel agent, join the Wayfinders, and then there you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the best things I like about DVC merch is that like they give you the resort polos.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which they don't give you, excuse me, they have them available to buy, but
yeah,
it always feels weird like buying a polo from a resort that you stayed at, but not when you when you own it, a portion of it.
Yeah.
I'll wear it.
The Nike ones or not?
Yeah, I'm waiting on getting the right one. But yeah,
nice Nike ones. They're like good quality.
You know,
the Nike ones are nice.
Yeah. But
right.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, wrap up and just kind of say, if you were looking at me, who's interested, what sort of tips would you give to me coming into it that you have experience in being a DVC?
I have a lot of credit cards that I can use for this, and it's sounding tempting to use all of them. They're Disney gift cards, so I'll get money back on it. Okay.
I would probably say first advice, honestly, is for people, make sure that you can afford it.
Yeah.
And listen,
so
we're not rich by any means, man, by any means. We don't have it like that. Never at all, ever had. But you gotta, if you've saved or if you've made smart choices throughout, you can probably look at this and say, all right, we can maybe figure this out or not. Disney does a really good job of making you want something. So you always have to think and see, like, is this something that I want, or is this something that like I can actually extrapolate value from? Right. Yeah. And if you're going to go and you're going to spend time with your family, your friends, the people that are around you, and you're really going to spend that time out, then I think it's priceless, because we can't take money with those guys.
Yeah.
We can't. We die, you can't take money with you. All you could do is take memories that you have. And I told you, my dad split that first contract with me.
Yeah.
First trip that we took, I took him with me. Right. And we took him with us. And I'll never forget that trip that we took my dad with us. Right. It's like, it's not the DVC, it's the stuff you do with it, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but
you're creating family experiences.
It's not like you're just signing up though for an annual pass for a year and you're like, I'll figure it out. Right. Make sure you're good. But if you can, I bet on my family and the time that we spend together versus any of the other things you can buy.
Yeah. And we're part of a group of several groups on social media, and so many people they're DVC, and they're just like, I wish I did this earlier. Like, there's no regrets. And sometimes things happen and people choose to sell, and there's never been an issue with that process either. It's always been pretty easy for them to transition from having it to not, but it's always been, oh my God, I should have done this sooner. I missed out.
Well, I need to talk to my financially responsible people I know and get them on the DVC
bus. What are some big mistakes that you see the members make, other than like just I wish I would have done this sooner? Are there any mistakes that they make? Like you said going into to resale first, would that be a mistake, or like what would be something that you would be like, don't do this for DVC?
That don't enter DVC if you can't keep track of stuff.
Yeah, you have to plan, because a lot of people lose their points. They're like, oh, I forgot.
Spending a lot. I mean, that happened our first year. We forgot to roll over our points come Halloween to the next year, and so I called DVC and I thought it was like 12 points. I wasn't really like gung up on it, but that's a night. That's 2 nights that's a night at a hotel. So I called Disney, asked them, this is our first year, yada, yada, yada. And they gave us back our points and they rolled them over to the next year for us. But Disney won't always do that, right? They give you points to use and you got to use their process.
Yeah, just be on top of it.
You got to be on top of it.
It's a contract and you need to know the business of it, and
don't do this unless you're really planning on taking your trips and figuring out what it is that you're going to take. And
but that's so much of the fun.
Oh yeah. No, that's why we've become travel agents like Carlos and I. It's because the planning is just as fun to us as the actual trip.
It really is.
It is. All right. So do you have I'm not saying give this to us, but does DVC have their own line for if you guys need help with something? Yeah. I know sometimes when it comes to tickets or other things, when it comes to hotel reservations, Annual Pass has their own number that they can call. If you guys have questions or DVC problems or something like that, do you have your own call center basically that you could go to that'll help you with all that stuff?
Line, and every resort, when you're staying at the resort, there's a concierge agent right at the bottom. So if you have problems with your tickets and stuff like that, they can get that all sorted out for you while you're at the resort. So it's super easy. You don't have to like wait through the guest experience tents. Yeah. But no, Disney has, DVC has its own phone number to call. I mean, it's only about DVC resort. I can't call them and say, hey, I got this other reservation. Can you guys help me out? No, but you know, they're going to take care of their guests appropriately, for sure.
Now, last for real this time question.
After like 3 extra questions, he's like, "Okay, this is my last one. Cutting myself off."
Sorry. Can you use your perks on other Disney things? I know we said Aulani and Hilton Head and all that, and you said Adventures by Disney. Like, can you use some of your points to discount off a Disney cruise as well, or no?
But you can use Disney. You can use DVC. They have DVC member cruises all the time, or you can use, but the point, like most of those people will pay cash for what that DVC cruise looks like, because the point conversion to cash is not great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not great. So you can really, you
can get great deals on the cruises.
Yeah.
So it's not
reach
like
out to
really
RJ
saving.
if you want to take a cruise. He gets you taken care of. That's great. But, I mean, truthfully, you as DVC members, like, you can get free stuff while you're on the cruise because you're DVC, right? They appreciate you there. For me. But you know, there's I wouldn't use your points to use on cruises because the conversion's not great.
Yeah,
you're losing.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. There's so many other people that do this. So there's math, there's science, there's groups.
It's a lot there. You can just call for it.
Always have support.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I feel like I've talked to a lot of DVC members, and the one thing they say is like the prices are only going to go up. So like when they bought it, it's like, man, it was so cheap, and now it's like, you know, $100 more than when I bought it. And so like I hear that from so many people. They're like, don't wait, just like get it. If you know you're committed to Disney, just get it, just do it, and you're not going to regret it.
Like you said, RJ, and you're coming down 2 to 3 times with your family, worth it.
And you know what, man, like the older I get and the more older parents I talk to, when you get older, you want to spend time with your kids. And the only way to do that, really, as people start to work and they start to build their own lives and their family, is a lot of the time is through vacation. And your kids are only going to want a vacation with you, a vacation with your kids.
Yeah.
You vacation with your kids early and you have fun doing it, they're going to want to keep going on vacation with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like it's almost a
start here.
Yeah, right. Let's go on these trips together and let's build these memories, because then later on they're going to want to think about those things and
they have a positive experience with it. They want to.
I hope they always think about mom and dad at Disney World.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing with my daughter. Is like, it's so special to me to be able to like prioritize family trips with her and with my wife, where we're so busy. My wife's a teacher full time. She's going to school for her master's program, and on top of that, like they go to school at like, I work from home, so it's nice for me to always be able to be home. But my kid goes to school with my wife at like 7 a.m. is when they leave. They get back at 4 p.m. We do homework, we eat dinner, we do our bedtime routine, and then it's bed. Like I hardly get to spend time with my kids. Weekends are always packed with birthday parties or something else. Disney is our one place that we prioritize a couple times a year that we can go together, disconnect, and just have fun together. And it's a place we all have fun together. Like we could go to a place that I enjoy, or a place that my wife enjoys, or a place that we enjoy together, but my kid would just be bored out of her mind. But Disney is that one place where we all have the time of our lives, and we're all kids, and we all laugh like we're kids, and we have the joy of just Disney and experience itself. So I agree with you. It's so special to us. And I hope it never gets old to her, because I don't want to make it get old to her. But at the same time, like, man, it's special to me just as much as it is to her, and just as much as it is for our wife.
Though, and like growing and enhancing. You know, I just think about all the rides that they built since our firstborn went, and now she's doing all of them. Like she goes on Tron and like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like she's just, and she's 7. You know, and it's like that would didn't even exist when we first took her. So they're progressive. They know. So they're going to keep going. It's not going to die away.
That's the same for us. We just went in January, the last week in January, like a week after you guys were there for the race weekend or whatever. And this, we're going the last week in May, first week in June, and that's when all that new stuff is coming out. So Bluey and Bingo, which is huge to my daughter. The Disney,
I'm so excited for Muppets.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is coming out that week. You're gonna have the new Soarin' over America. I'm super excited about that.
Big
I know
Thunder
it sounds
Mountain's
nerdy,
reopening
but
with the Rainbow Caverns.
Finally, that's
I
good.
know, it's only been like 2,000 years.
Gosh, bro.
yeah. So there's gonna be so many new cool things, even in just like 6 months of us being there. And then honestly, our favorite thing is to just chill out with Cool Kids Summer stuff. Like we don't go hard as much at Disney in like the summer months because it's hot. And so like, but going and doing the goofy Communicore Hall thing with my daughter, and just my wife and I get to sit down and just chill, and she just plays with Goofy for like an hour straight. Like that's so cool to be able to do. And so yeah, it's just special to us. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on and for joining us tonight and talking DVC. We loved it.
I was so entertained. I was just like, this is so much.
This is the quietest Noah has ever been on the podcast. He's never been that quiet.
So much. Poor Noah didn't even get a chance to like.
I was just like, no, I was just like, I want one of these. All I can think of is walking in and being told welcome home. I'm like, I want Disney World to be my home.
Noah's never quiet, so you guys kind of like, that was amazing.
You accomplished something great.
Well, we'd love to coordinate your next trip and see, and you too, Noah, and like when you all come down and meet you guys and have some fun.
That'd
you
be
can see
awesome.
how much taller I am than RJ. That's always
wow. Anyway, thanks again for joining us and taking time out of your night to hang out with us and talk Disney. We love it. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. Well, thanks again for coming out and hanging out with us. And now we are not going to switch to the same pre-recorded message we played last week.
We never do. We never do.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our show. Before you go, please don't forget to gather your belongings and head over to our email at carouselpod@gmail.com to ask us your questions. Oh, and wouldn't you believe it? You can now bring the magical sense of vacation right into your home. Check out the Magic Candle Company and use our exclusive link with the code CarouselPod at checkout to get 15% off your order. And don't forget, we're here to help you plan your future Disney trips. Just send us a message at rj@famvia.com. Until next time, we'll see you in a great, big, beautiful week.